A WWE superstar sitting next to Tiger Woods on a stationary bike, sharing rehab stories, trading jokes about shoes, and discovering that the greatest golfer on the planet is secretly a pro wrestling fan. This isn't a made-up fantasy. This actually happened. Former WWE star Rico Constantino just broke years of silence about his unexpected friendship with Tiger Woods, and what he revealed has the internet losing its mind. They met at a rehab facility for celebrities. Rico was recovering from a torn quad that doctors said would end his career. Tiger was there too, and for weeks the two sat side by side, talking about everything except golf. Then Tiger looked at Rico's shoes and said something that changed everything. "You got the wrong shoes on." Welcome to Golf Untold. Today, we're telling the story you never knew you needed to hear, the time a wrestling superstar and a golf legend became rehab buddies. Before we get to the Tiger Woods part of this story, you need to understand who Rico Constantino is and how he ended up in a celebrity rehab facility sitting next to the greatest golfer of all time. Rico was a star in the early 2000s WWE. He was known for his flamboyant style, his work as the bodyguard turned tag team partner of the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, and his memorable stint as the stylist for Billy and Chuck. But wrestling is a brutal business. The injuries are real, the pain is constant, and eventually the body breaks down. During a title fight in Ohio Valley Wrestling, WWE's developmental territory at the time, Rico's leg hit the ring in exactly the wrong way. His quadriceps tendon snapped right in the middle of the match. Anyone who has followed wrestling knows what that means. It's the same injury that sidelined Triple H for nearly a year, the same injury that ended the careers of lesser men. The doctor's words were devastating. "You'll never wrestle again." Think about that for a moment. You've dedicated your entire life to a craft. You've bled for it. You've sacrificed for it. And one doctor in one sentence tells you it's all over. Most people would have given up. Most people would have accepted their fate. But Rico Constantino isn't most people. He took the doctor's words as fuel instead of a death sentence. He went to rehab. Not just any rehab, a facility where celebrities went to recover. A place where the patients had names you recognized from a Falamu, Sassy, and magazine covers, and that's where his life took an unexpected turn. The facility's clientele included the rich, the famous, and the broken. Andre Agassi's wife was there. Athletes from every sport. And every day, when Rico got on the stationary bike to rebuild his shattered quad, he found himself sitting next to the same person, Tiger Woods. What are the odds? A professional wrestler from Louisville, Kentucky, ends up in a rehab facility sitting next to a man who has won 15 major championships and changed the face of golf forever. The universe works in strange ways. And that's when the real story begins. Because Tiger Woods wasn't just another patient at that facility, he was a wrestling fan. And Rico Constantino was about to discover that the man in the red shirt on Sundays was a lot more like him than anyone ever knew. You know how friendships are forged. It's not usually through grand gestures or life-changing conversations. It's through small moments, shared jokes, little observations that turn into inside jokes that last forever. That's exactly what happened between Rico and Tiger. They were sitting there, day after day, talking about their crafts. Rico would tell Tiger about the wrestling business, the characters, the storylines, the art of the fake punch that looks real. And Tiger would tell Rico about golf, the pressure, the mental game, the rivalries. And somewhere in the middle of all that conversation, Tiger looked down at Rico's feet. "You got the wrong shoes on," Tiger said. Rico was wearing Reeboks. Tiger, of course, was wearing Nikes. The brand had paid him hundreds of millions of dollars to wear those shoes. And here was this wrestler, sitting next to him on a bike, wearing the competition. It was a joke, a light-hearted jab. But it became something more. It became their thing. Every day Tiger would show up in his Nikes. Every day Rico would show up in whatever he was wearing, and they'd go back and forth about footwear. Then one day, something unexpected happened. Tiger walked into rehab without Nikes on. Rico noticed immediately. "What happened?" he asked. Tiger's response was so human that it almost doesn't seem real. "Oh, those shoes gave me blisters on my heel." And Rico, without missing a beat, fired back. "Yeah, you're wearing the wrong shoe. That's it. That's the moment." Two legends, stripped of their fame and their fortune, sitting in a rehab facility, joking about blisters. Tiger Woods, the man who had dominated the most mentally demanding sport in the world, was complaining about heel pain like a regular person. And Rico, the wrestling superstar who had been told he'd never perform again, was giving him a hard time about it. Those are the moments that stick with you. Not the championships, not the money, not the highlight reels. The quiet conversations between two people who understand what it means to push your body to its limits and beyond. Rico never forgot that moment. And now, years later, he's finally sharing it with the world. Because it's not just a funny story about shoes. It's proof that behind the legend, behind the commercials, behind the red shirt on Sundays, Tiger Woods is just a person. A person who gets blisters. A person who loves pro wrestling. A person who can laugh at himself when a wrestler tells him he's wearing the wrong shoes. That's the Tiger Woods the public never sees. And that's the Tiger Woods that Rico Constantino got to know on a stationary bike in a celebrity rehab facility. Here's the part of this story that wrestling fans are going to love, and honestly, golf fans too. Because it turns out Tiger Woods didn't just watch wrestling. He understood wrestling. He understood the psychology of the villain, the heel in wrestling terminology. He'd tell me about golf and who was the heel in golf, Rico recalled. And according to Tiger, the heel, the bad guy, the antagonist, the one the crowd loves to hate, was Vijay Singh. Think about that for a second. Tiger Woods, the most dominant golfer of his generation, was analyzing his Dackerstein time point, Form 12, through the lens of professional wrestling. He wasn't just thinking about who was good at golf. He was thinking about who played the villain, who embraced the booze, who leaned into being the guy the fans wanted to see lose. Vijay Singh was a perfect choice for that role. The big Fijian with the powerful swing and the icy demeanor. He won 3 majors. He spent 32 weeks at world #1, and he never seemed particularly interested in being liked. He just wanted to win. In wrestling terms, pure heel material. This revelation changes how I think about Tiger Woods. It's not just that he watched wrestling. Lots of people watch wrestling. It's that he thought about his own sport using wrestling's storytelling framework. He understood that golf isn't just about hitting a ball into a hole. It's about drama. It's about heroes and villains. It's about narratives that keep fans coming back. Tiger was the baby face, the hero, the fan favorite, the one everyone wanted to see win. He wore the red shirt on Sundays like a superhero's cape, and he knew that every hero needs a villain. Vijay Singh played that role perfectly. Rico, as a wrestling insider, would have understood this dynamic immediately. That's probably why they connected so well. They spoke the same language, even though they came from completely different worlds. This also explains something else about Tiger Woods that fans have always wondered about. Why was he so good at handling pressure? Why did he seem to thrive when the stakes were highest? Because he understood the performance aspect of sports. He knew that the crowd's energy, whether positive or negative, could be channeled into performance. He knew how to play to the audience without letting the audience distract him. That's a wrestling skill. That's something wrestlers learn in front of thousands of screaming fans every night. And Tiger Woods picked it up somewhere along the way. Maybe from watching, maybe from instinct, maybe from conversations with Rico Constantino on a stationary bike. Whatever the source, it made him unstoppable. And it makes this random encounter between a wrestler and a golfer feel strangely significant, like two masters of different crafts recognizing something familiar in each other. For years, Rico Constantino kept this story to himself, not because he was protecting anyone, not because he was embarrassed, but because the moment felt private, special, like something that belonged to him and Tiger alone. So why is he speaking now? That's the question that makes this whole story even more compelling. Rico recently appeared on the Insight with Chris Van Vliet podcast, And for the first time, he opened up about his time rehabbing alongside Tiger Woods. The wrestling world took notice immediately. Then the golf world caught wind. And now, everyone is talking about it. The timing is interesting too. Tiger Woods has been in the news lately for all the wrong reasons. The DUI arrest, the trips to Switzerland for treatment, the missed majors, the questions about his future. His name has been associated with controversy, not celebration. But Rico's story is different. It's not about scandal. It's not about drama. It's about a genuine human connection between two athletes who understood each other's pain. And in a moment when Tiger's legacy feels complicated, stories like this matter. They remind us who Tiger was before everything got so messy. Rico isn't trying to cash in on Tiger's fame. He's not selling a tell-all book or launching a podcast about their friendship. He's just sharing a memory. And sometimes, that's the most powerful thing you can do. I went to rehab, and the rehab was where famous people went, Rico explained. I mean, Andre Agassi, his wife went there, and every day I was on the bike, I was sitting next to Tiger Woods, who was a wrestling fan. Simple words, simple memory, but it paints a picture that no photo could capture. Two broken athletes fighting to get back to the careers they loved, finding common ground in the most unexpected place. Rico did recover from that torn quad, by the way. Against all odds, against the doctor's prediction, he returned to WWE and continued wrestling. He proved that the human spirit, when fueled by determination, can overcome almost anything. Tiger Woods recovered too, multiple times. From multiple surgeries, from scandals that would have destroyed lesser men, from a car crash that nearly took his leg. He keeps coming back. He keeps fighting. Maybe that's what Rico saw in Tiger during those rehab sessions. Not just a golfer, but a kindred spirit, someone who understood that the only thing standing between you and giving up is the decision to keep going. That's a wrestler's mentality. That's a champion's mentality. And apparently, that's Tiger Woods' mentality too. I've been thinking about this story for days now. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that it's not really about Tiger Woods or Rico Constantino. It's about the unexpected connections that happen when two people share a struggle. Tiger Woods and Rico Constantino had nothing in common on paper. One was a golfer from California. One was a wrestler from Kentucky. One made hundreds of millions of dollars. One made a comfortable living throwing other men out of rings. One was the most famous athlete in the world. One was known primarily to wrestling fans. But in that rehab facility, none of that mattered. They were just two guys on stationary bikes recovering from injuries, trying to find their way back to the careers they loved. And somewhere in the middle of all that pain and uncertainty, they became friends. Tiger told Rico about golf. Rico told Tiger about wrestling. They joked about shoes. They analyzed who the heel was in golf. They probably laughed more than either of them expected to laugh in a place like that. Those moments matter, not because they changed the world, but because they remind us that athletes, even the greatest athletes in history, are still human. They get blisters. They watch wrestling. They make friends in unexpected places. Rico Constantino broke his silence for a reason. Not to sell a story, not to make headlines, but because the memory still means something to him. Years later, he still remembers sitting next to Tiger Woods on that bike. He still remembers the jokes. He still remembers the unlikely friendship that formed in the most unlikely place. And now, we get to remember it too. The golf world has been obsessed with Tiger Woods' decline lately. The missed cuts, the legal troubles, the questions about whether he'll ever play competitively again. But stories like this one cut through all that noise. They remind us that Tiger Woods isn't just a cautionary tale or a comeback story. He's a person who once sat next to a wrestler on a stationary bike and talked about who the villain was in golf. That's the Tiger Woods I want to remember. What other unexpected encounters has Tiger Woods had that the public never heard about? And in a career filled with championships and controversies, why is it sometimes the smallest moments that tell us the most about who someone really is?